This album, it's called In War and Peace, Harmony Through Music. And it was set to be a very different project, sort of an obscure recording of long forgotten Neapolitan arias that go straddle the world of Baroque and classical and going into pre-bel canto, sort of the birth of bel canto. And I had just finished a world premiere opera where I was playing an opera diva who was contemplating the question, does art matter? And really, is there any point to all of this? And that was very much on my mind in a very kind of acute way. And the Paris attacks happened the day after I finished that opera. And I've got this stack of 60 really obscure Neapolitan arias. And I'm trying to go through it very diligently to choose the repertoire for this album and this 20-city tour. And I'm checking my phone to make sure my friends are okay in Paris, and nothing's making sense. And everything feels futile. And I'm getting more and more pessimistic, which is not a natural state for me. And I don't like it. I don't like feeling that way. And I thought, number one, I want this to be an album that people want to hit replay right away. And I want it to be something that brings comfort. And I started to think of it in a slightly different way. And then, to be very honest, it's as if the idea just steamrolled into me and said, this is what it needs to be. And I feel like I said, okay. What I consciously went for were the arias where there's a lot of shades of gray. Because in the midst of big war, sometimes you see incredibly valiant acts of peace. And it's in that beautiful, peaceful period that people get anxious and war starts to spring up. And we have, all of us have both of that light and dark in us, and in varying shades of gray at all times. And so this astonishing music of Handel and Purcell primarily, who seemed to know us so intimately from centuries ago, they have these shades of gray in almost every aria, and I love that. My basic premise of this was to show the dark and the light, the war and the peace, and simply say, you have access to both of these all the time. Is there one that you'd rather nurture right now in your life? The music is showing you this, the text is showing it, and we're at a point in the world that I think it's good to decide which side we want to nurture and activate in. Carnegie Hall does this outreach program, and they go into Sing Sing, which is a maximum security prison. So it's the worst of the worst criminals, and they teach classical composition. When I heard about this program, I knew I just had to do it. Music is instilling dignity in these people that didn't think it belonged to them anymore. And I know that what I'm doing is significant because I know the power of that music to enter people's hearts. And it takes a lot for that to happen in 2016. And music is one of the most effective things for it. And arts, culture, is one of the most effective things. And if we can get those hearts just slightly less rigid, then there's space for something else to come in. There's space for empathy. There's space for looking at the world outside of your little telescopic lens. And I don't know of any more effective place to put my energy right now than in this work. The opposite of war is not peace, it's creation. Hey guys, when we know better, we have to do better.